inkproducts.com has now released the ultimate refill kit for Epson's new XP600 and XP800. These are our refillable cartridges with our COC smart chips. You're going to get our new Epson Ultra True Color ink. You're going to get 2 sets of refillable cartridges, all the parts and pieces that you'll need to refill them. The ultimate kit with refillable cartridges work a lot better than even a CIS. I'll explain why later in the video, why we think this is the way that people are going to go by refilling simple and easy refillable cartridges. In the kit, you're going to get step-by-step color photo instructions, plus you'll be able to view this video, and I'm going to show you how to fill them. You can buy 1 set, or you can buy the ultimate and get 2 sets. So the reason for the 2 sets, you're printing along, it says yellow is low or out of ink. You take out the yellow, you put in the filled one, and you continue to print. Then when you get time, you go back and fill the other one up. So you can recycle these cartridges one right after another. Makes it a lot easier. Now the black holds over 20 milliliters of ink, and our color cartridges hold about 14 to 15 milliliters, but we're only going to put about 10 in it. I'll explain why again as the video goes on. Now I assembled an old cardboard box, a little clamp to hold the cartridge. These are just little tips to show you how to refill without making a mess. So I put a circle around the box. I'm going to cut that circle out. That'll hold my bottle. So I don't have to hold or touch the bottle or get it knocked over. In the kit, we're going to give you safety tips. Can't get hurt by them. Show you how to put them on. And you want to get yourself some type of clamp to hold the cartridge. Now I cut the circle like a pizza. So this way that'll help hold that bottle of ink when I push it down in there. Now you can put another one here for another color, Now if you're going to start refilling, you want to pick a safe area, get yourself a pair of rubber gloves. As you can see, I don't always use rubber gloves. But if you don't want to get ink on your fingers, now we have a chemical ink off, takes the ink right off, but if you don't have that, you better wear a pair of rubber gloves. Now we supplied some vent plugs for the cartridges. I've got the box all set here, cut out. And now I have the clamp. A little clamp, I'm going to put the cartridge in it. Now in the kit, you're going to get these number 12 milliliter syringes and these safety tips. And you just want to push them on a little bit. Don't try to force them on, you'll split them. That's how they go on. Then you can leave it just like that. You don't need to wash them out. Actually, you shouldn't wash them out. Just leave it, put them in a plastic bag right on the side, whatever color yellow you're using. And then also you're going to notice it'll say discard after use. These are veterinarian syringes. You're not using blood, so pay no attention to that. So if you see that, don't throw them away. So the tip just basically just pushes on. Just snug. Don't force it on. You'll split it, and you'll have to be buying some more of these. Now I've got my box, got my clamp to hold my cartridge. Now I'm going to show you how to fill the cartridge. Okay, now in the cartridge, you get a color fill plug, and in the kit you're going to get a little vent plug. If you notice up in the top, there's a little hole that you're going to push the vent plug in. Let me take this one out, and I'll put the new one in. There you go. Now, you can store it with those in. So if you have 2 cartridges filled, you can put this on the shelf. don't forget, if you don't take that plug out, you won't be able to print, and you may damage the printhead. So just remember that. Now here are the orange refill clips or storage clips. And they have a little part where you're going to just hook it down like this a little bit, like a swing. And then you should be able to squeeze it and lock it. It locks up front. I'll do that again so you can see. Now I mark on here yellow, whatever color, so I don't contaminate the bottom by putting on the wrong clip. So the instructions tells you to do that. So like I said, you just click it in like that. So like a little swing action there. Click, it's locked in. There. Now I can put it down, put my clamp on. I'm going to take out the vent plug so the ink will seep into the supply chamber. Right here, this is the chamber that supplies ink to the printhead, and this is the fill chamber. There. I've got my vent plug in. I've got my little box I made to hold the ink. Now I'm going to remove the fill plug. Put it on the side there. And now you'll be able to fill. Now you're going to fill your syringe to 10 milliliters. You're not going to put any more than that in it. If you overfill the cartridge, you'll oversaturate the supply area, that little fiber in the supply area, and you'll get no printing. You'll flood the printhead. So you don't want to do that. Okay, now I took out the vent plug, and I'm filling with my 10 milliliters. Now the next time you're not going to have to put 10 milliliters in. Probably only going to take about 5. Taking my time. That's all you want to put in is 10. Don't try to force any more in. It seeps all over there. That should be about enough. Now I'm going to put the vent plug back in. It's the first thing I'm going to do. And then, paper napkin. I'm going to wipe off the fill plug area and put that in. There. Put the top back on the ink. I'm going to write on the syringe yellow and just save it just like this. That's how easy it was to fill the cartridge. That's exactly what you want. You don't need this whole area filled in. That's oversaturated then. Now this vent plug is very important because that's going to stay in, so is the fill plug. But when you go to put it in the printer, you're going to put it in the printer, then take this out. So here's a step. Go to the printer, take the orange clip off. You want to pat it a little bit, and when it's in the printer, then remove the vent plug. Then the ink will come into the printhead. To put it back on, just kind of get it on that motion like that, click it on. And you're going to fill them all exactly the same way. And the next time, you're only going to put in maybe 5 milliliters. Because these hold quite a bit. A lot more than the Epson. Okay, now I'm going to show you what to do the next time you have to refill a cartridge. You're not going to do what I showed you in the first part of the video. You don't need to do that anymore. You want to make sure the orange clip is on. You want to make sure your vent plug is in. Then you're going to see a little bit of ink here. Now remember, vent plug in, orange clip on. You're going to remove the fill plug and just fill up that much of the chamber and put the fill plug back in. You're not going to have to take the vent plug out. Actually, you shouldn't take it out, because if you take it out, then you're just going to keep seeping more ink into the supply chamber. We don't want to do that. So set it down. You hold it with a little clamp. Take out the fill plug, and then just top off this chamber. Okay, now I'm going to refill this one for the second time. Actually, this is the third time I've done it, because I just slowly add. You just want to fill up this chamber right here. You don't want to take the vent plug out. You don't want to take any of the orange clip off. All I'm doing is going to fill this up. I'm going to leave a little air space, just so when I go to put the plug in, it gives me room. That's all you're going to have to do the next time you're going to refill. You're only going to fill up the back chamber and then put the plug back in. Okay, now I've filled it up. If you spill a little bit right when you're doing it, just blot it off there with that paper napkin. Put it in. That's it. That's all you have to do the next time. Now when you go to put it in the printer, you're going to leave both plugs in. I'm going to show you that in the rest of the video. You're going to take the orange clip off. Now you may want to just blot it a little bit in case some ink is in the clip. And then you're just going to put it in. I'm going to put it back on the clip right now. Again, it's just like I get it to go right into that area. You'll know when it's correct, because then it locks on. Now this is the XP800. I'm going to show you how to install the refillable cartridges and what to do when you get an error code cannot be recognized. The 700, their error codes are similar. They may be a little different. Unfortunately, I can't show you the 700 because the one we have for testing, the waste pad is full, and that's the second one we've gotten from Epson, and this printer is only about 2 months old, so they definitely have a problem with some of the printers. But for now, we'll just use the XP800. I'll lift the lid. You can see in this printer I have the Epson cartridges. This is one of our test printers. Now I'm going to go to setup, and I'm going to remove the Epson cartridges. There's setup, ink level, change or replace the cartridge. It's telling you how to do it. You got to lift the lid. Cartridges will come over. Then I'm going to install the refillable cartridges. Have some paper towel handy, just in case. And you can start with any color you want. We recommend having 2 sets of cartridges. These are our demonstration cartridges, the ones I've been using for testing. I mark one set A, one set B. So then I can just swap them in and out. So we'll go with set A first. I've got the vent plug in, fill plug in, and the orange clip on. And I've marked the bottom what color I have in this cartridge, so I don't cross-contaminate it. So now I can take out the Epson. Now I'm not going to take out any of the plugs. Take a paper napkin. You got one. There you go. I'm going to take off the bottom clip and just dab it on that napkin, just so there's no ink. I'm going to put it, you see no ink dripping out. Go in, lock it in, and then the last thing you're going to do is remove the little vent plug. And you want to save these, because you'll use them again. Now, if I was taking out one of the refillable cartridges, I'd use the same vent plug to go in the one I took out. So I just replaced yellow, and I'd put that same vent plug and orange clip on the one I just took out. Or you can have the other one handy, whichever. And now you're going to do them all exactly the same way. You're going to replace them all. You're not going to mix and match. There's a reason for that. Because that would confuse the firmware in the printer. You wouldn't know where your ink levels really are. Okay, now I've got all the refillable cartridges in, all the vent plugs out. I left in all the fill plugs. Don't want to take them out. I just wipe off the top a little bit. That's the clips and the vent plugs I just took out. I've got another set sitting over there. And now I've got my old Epson set. Now I'm going to close down the lid. Tells me to put the caps on. I did. Takes a second. Now it's going to report they're not Epson cartridges. Both the XP800 and 700 are going to do this. Takes a second. It says it's asking me to proceed. I'm going to say yes. And it's going to tell me not installed genuine Epson cartridges. I'll say proceed. Arrow down. Again. Say yes. Now again, the 700 is going to be a little bit of cleaning. I'm going to do one. Now if you do too many, these printers will coat out. I think Epson's got a problem because we've had two 700s coat out. I've talked to other people who've had 800s and they've coated out. Just do normal cleaning to coat out. Okay. Now, at Ink Products, we test everything we sell. You know, we spend hours testing this stuff, see which is the best way to use the product. Now, should a chip fail on one of the refillable cartridges, no problem. We have instructions to show you how to replace it. Now, most of the time, the only way they can fail is if you let the cartridge go empty. If you do, Epson has a sensor in the bottom of the cartridge. I'll show you on their cartridge. Shines a light to the bottom of the cartridge. There's no ink in there. It burns the chip. Same thing will happen on a refillable. So if you let it go empty, you'll be buying new chips. It's going to go through its cleaning process. Now I just completed the cleaning of the printer nozzle. Check. When it prints out, I'll take a look at it. Now if you see a little one or two broken lines, don't try to overclean it. Never clean these printers more than 3 times. If you go 5, 6, 7, all you're doing is wasting your time and your ink. So it looks pretty good. I really don't see any broken lines. But that's about it. I'm not going to clean anymore. I'm going to say done. Go back to home. That's it. Cartridges are installed. Now we're going to print out some test pages for you. And then I'm going to run some solid color so then to show you how to swap out a cartridge. Now I just completed the cleaning of the printer nozzle. Check. When it prints out, I'll take a look at it. Now, if you see a little 1 or 2 broken lines, don't try to over-clean it. Never clean these printers more than 3 times. If you go 5, 6, 7, all you're doing is wasting your time and your ink. So it looks pretty good. I really don't see any broken lines. But that's about it. I'm not going to clean anymore. I'm going to say done. Go back to home. That's it. Cartridges are installed. Now we're going to print out some test pages for you. And then I'm going to run some solid color so then to show you how to swap out a cartridge. Now I'm over here at the computer. I'm going to set it for text image. That's what I print on. I only print on text image or photo when I'm doing a photo. My ink levels, I never use text or draft. Found out that wastes a lot more ink. You have to do a lot more cleanings. Say OK. Say OK. And now it's going to start to print out on the printer. Oh, one more thing. I've got to hit continue, saying I'm not using genuine Epson. So then it'll pop up on the screen, and then we'll go over to the printer and you can see what it looks like. Call the test sheet that we have on our how-to instructions. Everything looks very good. See if you set it on text and image, looks very good. Now I can put photo paper and do a photo, but I don't think I will. I'll just show you how nice that came out. Now what I'm going to do is run solids so we can force it to replace the cartridge. So I can show you by taking our cartridge B, put it in, and continue running. The problem with continuous ink systems, here's what we find on these newer XP printers. Epson's making the print head so it's not strong enough to draw ink from a bottle through a tube, fill a cartridge, and print into the print head. Just not strong enough. Now, the difference between a refillable cartridge and CIS cartridges, refillable cartridges work off gravity in the atmosphere, just like an original. An original cartridge, an Epson, has a little hole. So the air goes in and it feeds out the ink. Same thing applies to a refillable. It's a little hole, goes in, supplies air, gravity. So that's why we think on a lot of these newer Epsons, continuous ink systems can be problematic. Now we sell it, we have people who buy them, but we warn them ahead of time that using that product may not always suit your needs. Where the refillable cartridges, we think, will work a lot better. Because we know the manufacturer does not want people to put a continuous ink system on these printers. They made it too easy. They have it wide open. If this was a Canon, you couldn't get your hand in there because they block you from everything. Okay, now let me go set it up to code out one of the colors. Now I made something solid yellow. I'm going to set it for text image. That's what I always set for. Say OK. I'm going to set it for 5. It won't take many because that's a lot of coverage. Say OK. Now it'll print that out and then it'll tell me to replace the yellow cartridge because it cannot be recognized. That means it's near empty. Now we're over here to the printer. You can see we're printing solid yellows. That's pretty impressive, really, to print a solid yellow like that. Sometimes if you're using a continuous ink system, it'll drop a color because, like I said, these Epson print heads are so weak. Not like the old Epsons where you could put anything you wanted in and print it out. Okay, now let's go look at the ink levels, see whereabouts, how close we are. You can see the yellow is quite low. Yep, Really low on that yellow. So that means it's going to code out pretty soon and say replace the cartridge. And then I'll show you what you have to do at that point. Okay, never pick the cartridge up and reseat it. That will reset the ink level for this cartridge. Now I went back to the computer and set it for 5 more. That's a total of 10 pages. That's not a lot of pages, but it's a lot of coverage. So if you had an Epson cartridge in there, you'd be through maybe 2 or 3 sets by now. At least 2. There it is. Cannot recognize the following cartridge. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. That's what you would get. So you're going to, it says proceed. So you hit proceed. It says put your hands on the side of the printer, top, and open it. Now, showed us the yellow. Now, I'm not going to go in and take the yellow out. You don't want to do that. What you're going to do, you're going to first put the vent plug in. That's the very first thing you're going to do. Okay? I have my other cartridge ready to go here. Now, I can use the same clip and put it on this cartridge. So what I'm going to do, take this cartridge out. Okay? Pump it up. Going to take out. Now you notice still a little ink in there, but the printer said it was out of ink. Well, we just replaced the yellow cartridge. Now let's take a look at our ink level. Set up. Go to ink level. The yellow's back full again. That's how simple it is.